I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And as we continue to cover the drama in the courtroom down in Fairfax County, Virginia, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, it comes down to what everyone says, right? It's the classic he said, she said kind of case, right? You've got two sides that experienced something together. It wasn't good. I think that's clear to everyone. It ended with a divorce, but what happened during the course of this relationship and marriage got ugly at times. But you have two completely different viewpoints of what happened and who was at fault and who's the abuser and who's the victim, who's the survivor. It's a mess, but it's a classic he said, she said. Now, let's begin with what she said. And what she said is she's a victim of domestic abuse. That's clear. Amber Heard has said that. She went and got a protective order at one point. She wrote the Washington Post op-ed. And this is clear that she's saying, listen, I am the victim here. Johnny Depp is the abuser. That's what she said. But what Johnny is saying is that she's lying. She's not telling the truth. She has created some alternate reality that is not what really happened in this volatile relationship. And Johnny Depp has been very clear. I never struck her or any other woman. And in this case, we have not heard from any other women who claim to be physically abused by Johnny Depp. She's the one, but we know there were real problems, volatility and violence in this relationship. It's just a matter of which way was it going. So now Johnny Depp has to prove that she's lying. That's his case here in court, proving that she is a liar, that she lied about him being abusive to her. One of the things that they've done is call a witness yesterday, very important witness for Johnny Depp, a psychologist who evaluated Amber Heard and said she's borderline personality disorder. She's histrionic personality disorder. And that is important because you have to answer the question, well, why would she lie about all this? What is there to gain from it? You don't gain more from a divorce. There's no custody battle here taking place. You know, sometimes when people are splitting up and they've got children involved and there's allegations or maybe false allegations of violence in the home, all to get an edge, to get custody. But that's not the case here. So why would she do it? Well, Johnny Depp's explanation is going to be, is that because there's something wrong with Amber Heard. So you've got two diametrically opposed opinions or viewpoints on what was happening in this relationship. He said, she said. So the key may be what they said. Other people who witnessed this, other people who investigated it, other people who were there. This includes the LAPD. Because on one significant night that I really want to focus on tonight, May 21st, 2016, police are called and they respond and take a look at what's going on and testified in this case. So let's take a listen to what the first two responding officers had to say about what happened the night that Amber Heard says Johnny Depp struck her, assaulted her with a cell phone.
You had been on patrol as a probationary officer somewhere between a week and 3 weeks before answering the May 21, 2016 domestic violence call at Eastern Columbia building. Is that correct?
Correct.
Penthouse 3, PR received call from victim's friend Amber, assaulted by boyfriend. PR refused to give further. You see that?
Yes, I do. We checked the location. The husband wasn't there, and that the victim advised us that she just had an argument and that she wasn't going to give us any further information. And because we didn't identify a crime, we issued her a business card letting her know that she could reach out to us later if she changed her mind and wanted to cooperate.
Did you perceive any signs of injury to her face on that second occasion?
No.
Did you see any swelling of any kind on her face, either during the first time you saw her or the second time you saw her that night?
No.
Did you see any marks on her face, either the first time you observed her that night or the second time you observed her?
Just the redness, which was consistent with her crying.
Did you see any time that night any indication of any bruising on her face?
No.
Did you see at any time that evening any indication or any sign whatsoever of any injury to her face?
No.
Did you see any broken glass anywhere in the penthouse where you did the protective sweep?
Not that I remember.
Were you looking for any signs of a disturbance?
Yes.
Why were you looking for signs of a possible disturbance?
Signs of or any evidence that a crime has occurred.
So the responding officer saw nothing, saw no injuries, saw no disturbance inside the penthouse where this allegedly all took place. Important evidence, because Johnny's saying one thing, Amber's saying something else. So what is everybody else going to say? What did they see? This is the LAPD testifying in the case. All right, I want to really focus on this night of May 21st, 2016. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter joining us live from Fairfax County, Virginia, outside the courthouse tonight, like she is every night. And I want to get to the 21st, but Elon Musk's name came up during testimony today, and I understand you have some breaking news regarding Elon Musk and this trial. What is it?
That's right, Vinny. We just confirmed through Elon Musk representative that he will not testify in this courthouse behind me. He will not appear remotely in that courtroom or be called by Amber Heard's case. So that is the breaking news. And you're right, he was mentioned by the testimony of Christian Carino today, a good friend, former friend of Amber Heard, who confided in him about her relationship with Elon Musk soon after she filed for divorce from Johnny Depp, even texting or telling him that when she broke up with Elon in 2017, she was sad, she didn't like that type of attention, and he said he told her, well, quit dating famous men. So the world's richest man, Vinny, tech entrepreneur Elon Musk, will not be appearing in this trial. Okay.
The question is, will he tweet about the trial? He owns Twitter now, or is about to own Twitter. Okay, so let's get back now to May 21st, 2016, and I believe this is such a significant night because this was the incident that led to Amber Heard seeking that protective order, going to court several days later. So we heard from the first two officers who responded to the penthouse that night. How about the second set of officers? There were more officers that ended up showing up.
That's right. A second set of officers, one including Officer Gatlin, who also testified via pre-recorded deposition. Vinny told the jury about his very short visit to that penthouse. He again echoed the same line of testimony that he observed no damage to the apartment. He didn't observe any injuries to Amber Heard. He was about 10 feet from her, according to his testimony. He was only at the home a couple of minutes. It was a perfunctory visit because he knew that another set of officers had already been there. He didn't file a report, but let's take a listen to part of his testimony from earlier.
Can we'll just come in and just check. We need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we. I don't know if she called twice or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. Yeah, they're all good. Nobody else is in here.
No. The other officers came by and checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah. Okay.
It must have been like a double call.
Okay. Who's Amber? Okay. Johnny
is definitely not here.
He's not here? Okay.
So that's key body cam video. Remember, the first set of officers, Vinny, didn't have issued body cameras on their person, but the second set did. So this jury having an inside look to this penthouse. And again, I didn't see any damage, and you can kind of barely see Amber Heard in the distance there, but not much.
Yeah, this is extremely important because this is the incident, right? This is the one that, okay, I'm going to court to get a protective order so you don't hurt me anymore, Johnny Depp, yet police coming to the penthouse twice, not seeing anything, not making a report, not taking a complaint. And I understand that victims of domestic violence sometimes don't want to come forward. We never forget that on Court TV. But at the end of the day, this does not seem to help Amber Heard's perspective of what happened that night. It looks like a pretty quiet scene right there. Now, another witness today, an employee who worked at the building. And my understanding is he wasn't there that night, but he did get to observe Amber Heard shortly after all of this.
Yeah, this is a huge witness for Johnny Depp. Alejandro Romero, Vinny, he was the front desk worker of the Eastern Columbia building in Los Angeles where these penthouses were. He interacted with Amber Heard in the days following this incident, May 21st, 2016. He wasn't there that weekend, but when he did return to work, he heard about what happened. Let's watch.
One of the residents, they approached to me and they said there was a lot of noise because the person was working out on the gym that's next to the penthouse. They heard a bunch of noise, and that's it. And that's why I checked the camera. And when I looked at the cameras and I saw Johnny, like I said, was just walking back and forward in the elevator. And I said, like, okay, all right, okay, no, I'll try to figure it out. And I didn't say anything more. I turned off the camera, and that's it.
This jury has seen that video from the elevator where Johnny Depp is agitated. They've seen the video of him making his way up to the penthouse where he's calm, and then when he leaves the penthouse and he's rocking back and forth, that's what Romero is referring to, that he looked up after hearing about the commotion over the weekend, and he interacted with Amber Heard 5 days later, Vinny, May 26th, and said that he could not see any injuries on Amber Heard's face. And this is a day before she goes and files a temporary restraining order against Johnny Depp about what happened 6 days earlier, and of course, very publicly exposes a bruise on her face.
And that's Johnny Depp with the hat, right? And you can see he's pacing back and forth, and yeah, there's agitation there, clearly. Kind of takes the jacket off, takes it off kind of like that, and looks upset. And it's clear that there was a fight. The question is, did he strike her? Did he not strike her? So let's pull it back now. So Johnny Depp obviously saying, I didn't strike her, but what exactly is Amber's team saying happened that night that led to her going to court 4 or 5 days later?
A completely different story. They say that Johnny Depp stopped by the penthouse that night. He was late for something that evening. I believe it was her birthday. Or no, it wasn't her birthday. That was a month before. But he was there to pick up some items. Before he went on tour, Vinny, they had separated about a month earlier. He's the one that became enraged during that incident and actually threw a phone at her. Let's take a look back at the opening statements when her attorney describes her version of events.
You'll hear from many, actually, I don't know how many of the police officers we'll put on, but we have, between 4 and 6 LAPD police officers and experts who will say those police officers, even when she declined to cooperate, should have taken a report. They should have documented it. That was police policy. So when faced with this big public DVRO and all of the publicity later, now they go back to the police officers and say, hey, wait a second, you didn't take a report. You said it was a verbal dispute only. They're stuck. If all of that was true and they admitted it was true, then they violated policy by not doing the report because they were supposed to take a report. So the police officers chose the other and said, no, there was no evidence.
She's following up that, look, these officers should have investigated this more. They didn't follow protocol, Vinny. When Amber Heard, her story, we expect her to testify next week, is going to say that Johnny Depp threw a cell phone at her during this argument, that he then pummeled her, the complaint says, with his appendages, and that she, again, witnessed him spread red wine throughout the penthouse, destroy the paintings, glass everywhere, and then, of course, he leaves, and that's when we see him on the elevator. Okay,
so based on those allegations, you've got no corroboration from officers who responded that night. You've got video from inside that doesn't necessarily show that from the body cam footage. So it looks like right now, as we sit here waiting for evidence, and obviously her case didn't start, we'll have to see where that evidence is going to come from, because right now it doesn't really exist. And even pointing the finger at the LAPD, saying the LAPD didn't do their job. We're used to hearing criminal defense attorneys attack the police for not doing the investigation. Here you have Amber Heard's attorney doing the same. But we saw the body cam, and we saw what the scene was. It's like, what were they supposed to do? Fascinating stuff. Right. Channeling Painter, I know we're going to speak again in a little bit. Thank you so much. When we come back, we'll bring in our experts, and we'll also take a closer look as we try to unravel May 21st, 2016, a significant night in this case. Why is Johnny Depp so agitated on the elevator? And there's Amber Heard. Doesn't look agitated. We'll be right back.